Tribal Council meeting to order and ask my elder and Darrell Glenn if he would lead us in a moment of prayer.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessings of another day. We thank you for this time together as the Delaware tribe as we do the business. We just pray for wisdom for each elected official there and for our chief. That would be good days ahead for the Delaware tribe. Decisions we make would be good decisions. We just pray for the upcoming election. It would be a good election. Continue to bless our elders. Bless our youngsters, bless the Delaware tribe, Lord, we pray. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please follow me. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Chief Chester Brooks.
Here.
Assistant Chief Bonnie Jo Griffith. Here. Secretary Annette Ketchum. Absent. Treasurer Benita Shea. Here. Member Nikki Michael. Here. Member Nathan Young.
Here.
Member Michelle Hawley. Absent. Chief, we have a quorum. Minutes.
Could everybody got the minutes, I think, by email? Does any council member need time to review the minutes? If not, I would entertain a motion from somebody to approve the minutes with corrections or not corrections if there are none.
Also moved.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Do I hear any corrections? If there's no corrections, all in favor of the motion to approve the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions?
I'll abstain.
Let the record show that approval of the minutes is 4 yes and 1 abstention. I would like to welcome all of our guests. I know that our election board chairman, Darrell Glenn, and also Tribal Court Justice Rick Barnes have asked to make announcements right at the front of the meeting. So, Darrell, can we have you first?
Yes, sir. Is this on now?
Yes.
On?
You're on.
Okay, what I'm coming here for, I'd like to make one change in the ballot envelopes that we're going to use. The ones that was used in the last election had a flap on it, and that type of envelope costs more money. And there's no need to have that if you don't need it. The certification, you know, as you send your ballot in, you sign on the back, you take an oath, and you certify that you are who you're supposed to be, okay? That will still be there on this new envelope, okay? So I would ask for the authority to make a change and do it that way, and everything would be all right.
I'll make a motion that the election board make whatever change they need on the envelopes.
Second that. We may have to amend the regulations.
No, we don't do the envelopes.
The motion's been made and seconded to authorize the election board making that minor change. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Or abstentions? Let the record show that the change in the mailing is hereby approved. Darrell, we thank you.
Well, I thank you.
Joe Brooks?
I've got just a quick question of Darrell. Has the wording been approved yet on changing our trust document as far as switching the percentages, education and community services?
I have that on I have it on a ballot ready to present to be approved.
So the wording's already been,
Well, my wording is there. I don't know if it's approved with the rest of the people, but it addresses that issue to raise the education 5 and community services down 5.
okay.
Chief Johnson?
I had a question of Darrell too. Maybe I don't understand what the change was there.
It's on the return envelope. On that, the one which you used in 2014 had a flap on it that's where you sign, and that flap had a window in it, so that you could, it was Xed out, but you could see that somebody had signed it, and then that's when you'd open it up and count the ballot.
You're gonna,
Change it to the new envelope will be the same, except it won't have that window there, and it's not going to be as an expensive envelope as the one that we use.
okay, so a question that I had was that in 14, that committee did not have a ballot envelope inside of the certification envelope.
Oh, yeah, they did, because I opened one and it was not sent out. There's a ballot envelope in there,
Right.
okay?
You're supposed to.
And on that ballot envelope is gonna be where you sign your name, that you're who you say you are.
No. Is that the envelope you're talking about?
No, it's a different envelope. It says ballot on it.
Yeah, just a little envelope in there that the ballot's supposed to be in.
Yes, ma'am. When you send it back, you put it in that envelope. And you put that envelope in the return envelope that you're sending back to the.
But there's no name or anything on the ballot envelope.
There will be.
Why? I mean, that's
Why?
how you separate the ballot. It's a secret ballot by putting it in the little envelope.
It's still gonna be an envelope. But on the outside of it, it's gonna have your name when you send it back to me.
I thought that you had another envelope that's in, that has your certification on it, that has your
I'm
name.
replacing that envelope.
Pardon?
I'm replacing that envelope, substituting another envelope for that type of envelope.
Right, but that envelope is supposed to have your name on
Which one?
it, that you're talking about. You put
No, it will. On the back of that ballot, okay, this is a ballot envelope, okay?
Okay,
Okay, it says ballot on the front. On the back, it has the oath that you take. You take the oath and you sign your name, okay? You take that ballot, put it in that envelope, seal it, and then put that envelope into the return envelope and send it back to the ballot box.
your ballot is supposed to be in a little envelope that says ballot on it.
That's
That's
right.
it.
Yes, yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying.
No, then it goes in an envelope that has the name on it. And then it goes in an envelope that's mailed out.
No, that's 3 envelopes.
Amen. That way, that ballot is anonymous. It is, that's why you
Okay.
put it to the ballot box.
Let me tell you how it's gonna be, okay? You got a ballot envelope, okay, just like you said.
Right.
Okay, on the back of that ballot envelope's got a place for you to sign, okay? You take your ballot out of the envelope that was mailed to you, and you vote for your people. Put that ballot in the ballot envelope, seal it, then put it in another envelope that's mailed back to the, election board,
Right,
okay?
right.
Right, okay?
So the envelope that your ballot is in has your name on it.
No. No, what now? Say that again?
The ballot has your name on the outside of it.
Not the ballot envelope
The ballot envelope,
has your name on the back that you signed that you're who you are.
so what do you do with that?
You put it in the ballot envelope.
What do you do when it comes in?
When it comes into here,
Yes.
I look and see if your name is on there, certified, then I open that ballot up. Open that envelope up.
And do what? Put the ballot in the box, or,
No, I count it. That's when we count it.
so you know how people voted?
No.
And what the point is, by not having a little envelope in there that you just put the ballot in, and that's in the box, when people open it, it's anonymous. But the way you're telling it,
No, it's still anonymous.
it is anonymous, okay?
I'm not actually sure what you're trying to say, Chief Buchanan.
And
You are a candidate in this election. Do you really think that the election board cares how you voted or how any other person voted?
I have no, I just know what other elections have been.
Yes.
I understand what Paul is saying, and I think on the envelope that you put your ballot envelope in, on the back of that envelope needs to be your certification.
It is on the back of the ballot.
No, not on the ballot envelope. You put your ballot in this white envelope that says ballot.
Okay.
You seal it. Then you've got your envelope that has the return address to the election board. You put that in, your ballot, sealed ballot, in that envelope, seal it, and on the back of that is your certification.
Okay, here's the problem with that. People do not want their signature exposed on that envelope when it's mailed back. So that's why you have it blotted out on that other envelope. What's that?
I said you're still missing an envelope. Yes, it's,
Oh, okay, you're saying there's 3 envelopes.
yeah.
Okay, so you take the, all right, I have 2 envelopes. All right, you have the ballot envelope, which is just blank except for the word ballot. You mark your ballot, you put it in it, you seal it. That's all on the front or back is the word ballot. Then you put it in another envelope which has your certification on it. So that nobody sees your signature while it's going through the trails of the US Post Office.
Absolutely, they do.
Yeah, they do. You
Not,
sign it
no,
on-
then you put that one
That
in
way.
another one.
No.
So you're
Need another
saying
one.
3 envelopes?
Yes.
then? We've never done 3 envelopes.
Yeah,
I
Yes,
don't
we
know,
have.
I've never voted by absentee.
Actually, I think that's redundant. We've already voted to approve what Darrell was saying. If somebody's suggesting that we make a change,
No, I see, I was just, I was understanding what Paula was saying.
I think the vote was on the type of
The
envelope
type
it's
of
gonna
envelope.
be using.
Yeah.
But then for clarification, there was discussion about how those absentee ballots were gonna be mailed back. And I do agree that when the election board receives those envelopes, they should be separated between who sent it in and the ballot itself. It should not be tied together. When I open up an envelope that has, I put my ballot in there and it says Benita Shea on it. I don't want anybody seeing that who I voted for, including the election board. You don't see it when I come in the vote, so why should it be the same way with the absentee ballot? There has to be some point of separation between the return envelope that I mail back to the election board and the actual vote.
Right, because you could then open up that the one that has a certification on it, open it up and make a stack to check off who's voted. And then put the ballots over here that get opened, and you don't know what order they got piled in. So you don't know who voted for what, you just know their ballots.
I do not think it's a problem taking the ballot out, placing it here, and placing the ballot envelope here. We don't have time to look and see who you're voting for. I don't think that's an issue. But you gotta trust at some point in the line. At some point, you gotta trust them.
I trust you.
Huh?
I trust you.
Oh, yeah.
If I
you
may
don't trust
say,
me, you need to get somebody else.
I mean, I would have no problem with you either. It's just that it's just the precedence. And so I have a problem with possibly someone in the future.
Does this council wish to revoke this? I mean,
I think it's the envelope, it's a different issue than
Than what we voted on.
what if we suggest having a little bit of research done into how this could be done?
Well, they gotta
I
start.
they've got to
I know they do.
get the ballot printed,
Do you
start
have-
probably within 2 days, don't
Do you
you?
have
Darryl?
samples of the envelopes that you'll be using in the manner that they'll be mailed out and inspected?
Not yet. I was talking to the printer today, and he has all the envelopes except the one that's gonna be returned back to us. We have the ballot envelope, he has that. He has the first one that's gonna come out to you at your house. He has that envelope. But the one that was remittance, he didn't have that type. So, but if I change it, you wouldn't be able to get that type. The flap is not a problem, you're just talking about taking it, keeping them separate, so I won't see who's supposed to who. I will think about that, yeah.
Do a little research.
Okay.
Okay? I will think about that.
Thank you very much.
I'm just saying that it used to be that way.
No, I've worked all these years, it's never been different.
Well, this last election, when the ballots were cut open and the ballots were put in a box here on Friday night, and they were left unattended.
No, that was last year, is that what this year?
Chief
Not
Tony,
last year, 2 years ago.
2014.
Right,
Not a
and I trust-
point of order.
Darryl,
Chief
I
Tony.
trust you too.
not only do I disagree with what you're saying, but you're out of order.
Oh, you
Weren't
don't think they were cut
recognized.
open the night before? They were. They were taken out of the,
Well, I don't know how you would know
Point
that.
of order.
I certainly didn't.
because they told it the next day. They stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Darryl, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Joe's got
Joe's got
it.
another question.
Joe Brooks.
This was the question is to Darryl. Darryl, the candidates that paid for a flash drive, when are they gonna be available?
I will, they should be available. I will tell them who paid, there's 3 of you, and I will tell them in the morning, and you could contact them, and they'll give you a timeline when you can pick them up, okay?
Now, that will include anybody that voted in the last 3 elections, correct? Okay.
And also, people will have a chance to send in an absentee, to get an absentee ballot. There'll be some additional ones. But I'll turn that list in the morning too, so they would add that to it too. I have 16 requests for absentee ballots that they don't have a label for yet.
Okay. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
See.
Thank you, Darryl.
Thank you, Darrell. Rick Barnes, I think you had an announcement or something.
No, not announcement, but it's a request. I want to read this opening statement to you. It says, the Native American governments and federal agencies responsible for serving the Native American community must respond and prepare to address the changing demands of the next millennium. Critical as a response is as well trained and highly professional labor force that will provide our tribal governments and federal agencies with qualified employees to ensure we can conduct efficient business on a daily basis to meet the demands of both the government and the business. In saying that, I would like to send our court clerk, Robbie Hedges, to a class in Las Vegas. It's $895, and the airfare is probably going to be $450, and the room is going to be around $800. The court, the judges, we have a budget of about $3,000. So I would say that we're going to probably use our budget up pretty much to send Robbie to this course. But it's an excellent course. She's going to get certified to be a court clerk for us up there in Caney. And as many of you know, the court clerk everything funnels through her, going back to the judges' cases. Anything that needs to be prepared, she types it up and gives it to us. And this course, for 4 days, will cover that, $895. So I just want to let everybody know.
What's the dates?
I wanted to send that with your blessing.
What's the dates, Rick?
The dates are September 27th through the 30th. And I can read you what she might be taking if you want to know that. But
I don't.
she's
We
gonna
have
be
that actually
certified.
under new business on the
And
agenda.
she's going to be certified when she leaves. She'll take a test and be certified, so when she comes back, she'll be certified. Plus, I think that when she meets other tribes out there, Miami, Osage, Navajos, whatever, they'll be able to exchange ideas and get other knowledge on what's going on in this whole world. But the court needs a certified court clerk.
I'll make a motion, we approve travel for Robbie Hedges to attend the certification class.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
So if it's not coming out of court budget, where do we plan on having it come out of?
I'm just saying that the court, the judges, we have a budget for just a hair over 3,000.
I know.
So it'd be us paying for it.
Right.
Oh,
I mean, but I'm asking her, when you see that bill coming in, because she's going to have some sort of a credit card or something. to
I'm
use.
sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah. Of course, the court would love to have the tribe pay for it, you know.
That was where my brain went. Where else
Save
can we find
our
that?
budget of 3,000 for,
When you
bailiffs
run
and
out,
what else
come back and
happens.
see what we got.
That's not to say that the court in, say, in November is not be coming back to you all saying that we're going to have a budget for 2000, December 16 through the whole year of 17.
Ours is October 1st.
October 1st, yeah. We had a budget of $18,000 to start with, and that lasted us about 2.5 years. So I think we're doing pretty well spending. But as the court advances on, we're going to be having more cases, hopefully. Just let you know what's going on.
Right, and the grant steering committee is really working on figuring out how we can replenish that. We're hoping possibly BIA funding. We'll see.
Hoping for any grants or whatever, you know.
Call for question.
Thank you.
Question been called. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Or abstentions? Let the record show that the motion passes unanimously. And we thank you, Justice Barnes, for coming to us.
The council, thank you.
Are there other guests that wish to address the tribal council at this time? Joe Groves.
Just a quick question, Chief and Council. It's been a couple of meetings ago, I brought the pond to y'all's attention, and y'all said you were moving forward with it. I haven't seen anything done. When's it gonna happen? That pond is covered over with moss.
You don't have your mic on, or something.
All it takes is 2 gallons of chemical and 10 minutes to walk down there and put it in to kill that moss. Also, them willow trees are gonna take over that pond if we don't get them out there. I've been told now for 3 months y'all was gonna do something about it. I've yet to see anything done about that pond. So that was my question. Are y'all moving forward with it? Do you have some contractors bidding on it, or what's the process?
As a matter of fact, the chemical to kill the moss has already been purchased. And yes, we have talked with Mike Cole about removing the willow trees. His idea was to wait till the water went down, but since that time, it's rained some more, so
Now, is he the one that was gonna cut them off?
that's what he
Cutting
suggested.
them off won't do a bit of good on willow trees. They'll be right back within 30 days. You gotta get the roots and all out there. So, I know a little bit about trees. Willow trees are fast sprouting. If you don't get the roots, you're wasting your time. It's not gonna do any good to cut them off at water level. Thank you.
Can we have Alan check on that tomorrow? Mr. Barnes? Mr. Alan Barnes, I'm sorry. We have two Mr. Barneses here today.
It's gonna take a backhoe or a grader to pull them out by the roots.
That will be a little more expensive, of course, than cutting them off.
Joe, do you think you could do it with the pickup, four-wheel drive, and chain, pull them out?
Do what?
I'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Are there other tribal members who wish to be recognized? Yes.
We want to thank Carol Rowe again. She's helping fatten us up for the winter. So, with her wonderful cookies. We so appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business?
I was just making sure Michelle was doing that. She's got a job.
She what?
Michelle has a job, so I was making sure she was gonna still be able to attend the conference.
Said today she was.
Okay.
Are there any tribal reports to be given? The tribal reports, of course, are usually given in the second meeting. First item under new business. I think we've already taken care of. Could somebody anybody that can see better than I. Read Resolution 2016-46 concerning the Standing Rock Sioux.
Nikki, since you wrote it, how are you?
I'll start crying. Okay, I'll try to get through this.
Mine I wrote is much smaller.
Well, we had a lot of other stuff going on, so. Okay, Resolution 2016-46. A resolution of the Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians to unite with the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe against the Dakota Access Pipeline. I will go down to the second whereas. The Delaware Tribe of Indians is known by other Algonquin and Eastern Woodlands as the grandfather tribe, as the oldest living tribe. Water is an essential element of all native and non-native life and has been a vital aspect of many indigenous religions, traditions, and culture practices for thousands of years. Whereas the general welfare, health, and sustainability of the Delaware Tribe of Indians and all other native peoples depends on the protection of clean water. Whereas the Dakota Access Pipeline threatens public health and welfare on and off the Standing Rock Indian Reservation and all tribal nations along the Missouri River. Whereas all tribal nations have an inherent right and responsibility to protect, sustain ancestral lands, sacred and historic sites through federal protections and laws. The Dakota Access Pipeline, LLC, has proposed to construct 11,000 miles of pipeline with a capacity of 570,000 barrels of crude oil per day to cross the Missouri River immediately above the mouth of the Cannonball River on the Standing Rock Indian Reservation. Whereas the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has given its approval for the Dakota Access Pipeline to run within a half mile of the Standing Rock Reservation without legal and federal protections commonly referred to as Section 106 consultation or consent. Do you want me to read the whole thing? Or
I go down to therefore it be resolved.
Be it resolved.
I don't feeling like I was losing everybody. So yeah, now therefore it be resolved, the Delaware Tribe of Indians does hereby urge the Secretary of Interior, Sally Jewell, and the Acting Assistant Secretary of Indian Affairs, Lawrence S. Roberts, to take any and all steps necessary to protect the environment and water resources of the Standing Rock Sioux and all other Missouri River tribes.
Also move.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
One thing I want to say, Chief, and when we get through voting for this, possibly we could hear another motion, is that we've got a drive going on collecting supplies to take, and it started just kind of me sitting reading Facebook late one night a couple of weeks ago, and so I posted, hey, I'm going to take off Saturday morning early, and I'm going to drive up there. If you got anything, throw in my car, we'll do it. Well, it kind of blossomed from there, and now it's got to where I think the veterans have donated a $200 check for them, and we've got quite a stash of supplies back there. And so Homer Scott and Joe Brooks and myself, and we're hoping Susan Kay would like to take off Thursday or Friday early morning and head up there with those supplies, plus a copy of this resolution and a tribal flag. So after we vote on this, I'll make a motion that we fund that trip.
Question's been called on the resolution. All in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Let the record show that resolution 2016-46 passes unanimously. And Assistant Chief, let's go ahead and
Okay.
address the expenses.
Okay. Okay. Larry Joe.
Joe Brooks.
Chief, point of order. While y'all are conducting business, could you please inform the audience if they're going to talk to go out the hallway or outside? I couldn't understand half of what Nikki was saying, for all the talking going on back behind me. I don't know who it was, I'm not pointing any fingers, but could you please ask the audience if they're going to talk to go outside?
I will do so right now with the audience that wishes to talk. Please go outside and do it. And add further that if we really get something out of line, we'll ask the security guard to exit you outside. Thank you.
Okay, you want to go ahead and address then the trip?
Please.
Okay, what we're asking for is to use one of the vans. We're gonna take it all but one of the long seats, the one right behind the back, so two can ride in front and two on that seat, and load the back end with the water, and we've got gallons of canned goods and toilet paper and things, and load it up and take off. I think we could go real early in the morning now, Joe, since the court, and leave early and get up there and spend the night and visit with them, present our resolution, our flag, and unload the van on Saturday, and then get up early and spend time with them, then get up early Sunday and drive back. So it'd be 2 nights hotel, which we're hoping to use just 2 rooms each night, get double beds in each room. Sue and I could share a room, and Homer and Joe said they'd share a room, and then pay for the hotel if we can find one. There's a big powwow going on up there the weekend, so Linda Kilskull told me it might be hard to find. We may have to drive a ways out of there, go north of Bismarck or something. But, and then maybe a food stipend.
I'll entertain that somebody make a motion to for the tribe to cover per diem and gasoline and hotel bills to take this trip. Assist. Do I hear a second?
And I think that could come out of 106 funding.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. If there's no further discussion, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show that the motion to cover the expenses to deliver these food and other goods to our Lakota friends passes unanimously.
Is the van full, or do you have room for additional items?
I think we've got room for additional items if people still have things they can bring. I know your mama had a case of water I need to go buy and get.
Resolution 2016-47 is the one.
I wrote that one. Well, I didn't write. We got a request in for this resolution, so I just put it into our template. It's a resolution of the Tribal Council of Delaware Tribe of Indians calling for the formation of a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And it says, whereas in 1893, Congress allowed the Bureau of Indian Affairs to withhold food rations and supplies from Native American parents or guardians who refused to enroll and keep their children in the boarding schools. Whereas by 1960, there were 460 federally funded boarding schools nationwide with enrollment totaling more than 100,000 children. Whereas Native American children in boarding schools were punished for speaking their native language and banned from representing traditional or cultural practices, and were brutalized emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and physically while in the boarding schools, in some cases to the point of death. Boarding schools practiced oppressive discipline and corporal punishment on Native American children, beating and isolating them while restrained in hospitable surroundings such as unlighted and unventilated cellars and outbuildings. And it just goes on with more. Therefore be it resolved that the Delaware Tribe of Indians hereby supports the enactment by the United States Congress of a bill to create a Truth and Reconciliation Commission on American Indian boarding school policy, to take testimony from boarding school survivors identifying how it impacted their lives so that their stories will not be lost in U.S. history, to release a comprehensive national study focused on the impacts and ongoing effects of the boarding school policy, to provide recommendations to Congress on how to begin an official process of healing, which includes specific ways to address the effects of the boarding school policy, and to provide recommendations to Congress on how to move forward toward having child and family service programs be run by tribal nations for tribal nations.
I make motion.
I'll second.
Motion to approve and the second to that motion has been made. Is there any discussion? I'd like to comment that one of our tribal members ran away from the Wyandotte Indian School, and within the last year, I found out that Mr. Sammy Hausberg also ran away from the Wyandotte Indian School. So if somebody my age happens to know two people that ran away, there's no doubt in my mind that this resolution is certainly passed, and that the United States of America has some reconciliation that it desperately needs to do. Is there further discussion on the resolution?
Call for question.
The question's been called. All in favor? Passage of resolution 2016-47, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions? Let the record show that this resolution passes unanimously. Could somebody read a couple of whereas and now therefore be it resolved of resolution 2016-48?
Okay, I'll read it, since I just got tapped on the arm. A resolution of the Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians to establish line of credit at Bank First for Tacos E2 LLC using housing CD number 8434 as collateral. Whereas the Delaware Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians adopts this resolution to authorize establishing a line of credit in the name of Tacos E2 LLC for the operation of the LLC at Bank First, and whereas the Delaware Tribe of Indians also holds a certificate of deposit from proceeds of sale, CD number 8434, in the amount of $181,296.02 at Bank First, and whereas the Delaware Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians wishes to pledge said CD as collateral for said LOC, and whereas Article 5, Section 5.2 of the Tacos E2 LLC operating agreement dated January 6, 2015 outlines the powers of manager to borrow money for the operation and management of the company's business, and whereas Gene Lewis, CFO, shall have the responsibility to maintain the books and records pertaining to Tacos E2 LLC and develop any policies she deems necessary pertaining to purchases and expenditures. Now therefore be it resolved, the Delaware Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians does hereby authorize and approve the establishment of an LLC at Bank First in the name of Taco C2 LLC for the operation of the LLC, which will be collateralized by the Delaware Tribe of Indians, CD number 8434, from proceeds of sale in the amount of $181,296.02 at Bank First.
Discussion.
I made the motion.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve this resolution. Discussion. Is there any discussion? Joe Brooks.
I think you're putting the cart before the horse. Do y'all have a business agreement with Taco 2 as to how much of the profit they're gonna pay this tribe and in what periods of time? I don't wanna see our tribe end up like Cherokee Nation Enterprises. It was many, many years before Cherokee Nation Enterprises paid the tribe anything. So before you all go loaning money out in this amount, putting something up for collateral, y'all should have a business plan with Taco 2.
Taco E2
E2.
does have a business plan, which all of this council has seen.
And may I ask what percent of the profit and what intervals of
I
time?
actually don't think that the business plan states a percentage of the profit, although I would be the first to admit that it should.
Absolutely.
However, I see no reason to hold up a line of credit when they've got $100 and some $1,000 of orders that need to be paid for, so we can fill those orders.
There needs to be an amount of profit, percentage, how much they're gonna pay the tribe, and at what intervals of time, spelled out before you enter into any kind of agreement like this. Thank you.
Question's been called. All in favor of the motion to approve Resolution 2016-48, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Let the record show that Resolution 2016-47 is approved.
48.
I'm sorry, 48 is approved by a vote of 4 yes and 1 no. Nikki, could you?
You wrote it.
You wrote it. So,
Resolution 2016-49, a resolution of the Tribal Council of the Delaware Tribe of Indians opposing the Plains All-American Red River 2 pipeline. And this is similar to the pipeline up in North Dakota, only this applies to the tribes down here. The Caddo Nation, the Kickapoos, and all the other tribes that are along the route have not been consulted. So that's basically what all these whereases are saying. And then the same thing at the end. Now therefore it be resolved that the Delaware Tribe of Indians does hereby urge the Secretary of Interior, Sally Jewell, and the Acting Assistant Secretary of Indian Affairs, Lawrence S. Roberts, to take any and all steps necessary to protect the environment and water resources along the route of the Plains All-American Red River 2 pipeline.
is there any discussion on this resolution? Only thing I can say is, if we're helping our Lakota brothers up at Standing Rock out in this regard, we should certainly do the same for our relatives in the Anadarko area. Is there any further discussion? Then all in favor of passage?
Wait.
Gotta make a motion.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
sorry.
make the motion.
I'll second it.
Now.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the resolution. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show that resolution 2016-49 passes unanimously.
Before we adjourn, I want to address one issue that was left off, and that is our contribution to Oklahoma Indian Summit. In the past years, we've given, I believe, $1,500, and I would like for us to do that again. Corporate contributions for Indian Summer have gone down. And I would make a motion that we give $1,500 to the Oklahoma Indian Summer.
Do I hear a second to the motion?
Let's start. It's-
Oh, well,
no.
I'll,
Get a second and discuss.
I'll second the motion. If I can the chairman second the motion?
Yes, absolutely.
Benita?
Yeah, Jean, I just wanted to check with you to make sure that we have 1,500 budgeted or put aside that we could easily donate this $1,500 to Oklahoma Indian Summer.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Would you say again, please?
I wanted to check with you first to make sure that we have the money set aside to, or where we can pull from for the 1,500 to donate to Oklahoma Indian Summer. Okay.
All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show that the Delaware tribe has donated donated $1,500 to Indian Summer. And it passes 5 yes, 0 no.
Real quick before we adjourn, Chief, I want everybody to keep Cece Runnels in their prayers. She's still fighting her cellulitis. She sent us an email today. It's finally starting to heal. She still can't come back to work. She's going back to the doctor next week, and they're probably to a wound specialist, which I wish they'd have done that 3 weeks ago. I think they'll probably put her in a hyperbaric chamber where it's pure oxygen, and that'll drive the bacteria out of her legs. So if everybody will keep her in mind. And also, as most of you know, we lost Mickey Joe Morrison this week. We had his wake last night, his funeral this morning. So if you'll keep his family in your prayers, my family will appreciate it.
Motion been made to adjourn and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're done.
The time is at 6:32, just for record purposes.
This is for all